Namaste, Ram Ram. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste to all. We continue with Bhagavad Gita, Ekadashodhyayah, Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga. Let's do a quick revision, 41 to 50, and then we will do the last 5. Today should be a short class. 41. Who can chant? Okay, Shankar Narayan, Mama, Kalpakamji. Who else? Okay. Kalpakamji, you can do the first 5, and then Shankar Narayan Mama or Hema Mami, one of you can do the next 5. Kalpakamji, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, madam.
Namaste.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Sakheti matva prasabam yayuktam
Yaduktam.
Yayuktam. Yatuktam.
Yaduktam.
Yatuktam.
It's not Yatuktam. Yaduktam.
Yaduktam. Yaduktam. He Krishna, He Yadava, He Sakheti, Ajanata Mahimanam Tavetam, Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi, Yaschavaha Sadhama Satkritosi, Vihara Sayyasana Bhojaneshu, Yeko Tavapyaschuta Katsamaksham, Tatshamaye Tvamahama Prameyam, Pitasi Lokaisa, Pitasi Lokasya Saracharasya,
No, one second.
Charasarasya.
One second. Pitasi Lokasya Characharasya.
Pitasi Lokasya Sarasarasya. Tvamasya Pujyascha Gurur Gariyan. Natvat Samostya Abhyatikaha.
Natvat Samostya Bhyadik Kutonyaha.
Natvat Samostya Bhyatika Kutonyaha. Lokatrayepya Pradhima Prabhava.
Lokatrayepya Pratima Prabhava.
Lokatrayepya Pradhima Prabhava. Tasmat Pranamya Pranidayakayam Prasadaye Tvamahami Samikyam Piteva Putrasya Sakheva Sakyuho Priya Priyaya Hasiddeva Sotum Adrishtapurvam Hrishitosvi Drishtva Bhayena Cha Pravyadhitam Mano Me Tateva Me Darsaya Deva Rupam Prasita Devesa Jagannivasa.
You have to fix your sir pronunciation.
Okay.
Prasida Devesha. It's not Devesa.
Devesha. Okay. प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
Very good. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
thank you.
chanting.
Thank you, madam.
Where is Mama? I can't find him. Anybody else? Get disconnected. Anybody else who can do the next 5? Usha ji Bandela.
हरि ओम जी केकुदा नमस्ते जी अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपम् प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते. श्रीभगवानुवाच मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यम् यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वं न यज्ञाद्ययनैर्न दानैः न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. मा ते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावः दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमीद्रुं ममेदम् व्यपे.
Did I lose you?
तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य. संजय उवाच इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्तथोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा.
Excellent. Last line pronunciation visarga hai enna
भूत्वा पुनः வருமா h வர மாதிரி சொல்றேன்.
punas
f
punas
yes okay
punas because the next one is sound.
சௌமியா அதுதான் நினைச்சேன். பட் உங்களோட ரிப்பீட்டடா கேட்டேன். எனக்கு என்னமோ ஹெச் வர மாதிரி காதுல தப்பா கேட்டிருக்கேன். பூத்வா புனः சௌமிய வபுர்மஹாத்மா. ஹரி ஓம் ஜி.
Excellent chanting. Can you repeat? Next continue பண்ணலாம். Can you repeat?
Yeah, sure.
Arjuna.
Yeah, okay.
Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha
दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपम्
दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपम्
तव सौम्यं जनार्दन
तव सौम्यं जनार्दन
इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः
इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः
You have to cut that end. It is too long, Ushaji.
Okay.
Idanimasmi samvrittah. That's it.
Idanimasmi samvrittah.
For everything, make the end short.
Okay.
Sachetah prakritim gatah.
Sachetah prakritim gatah.
Very good. Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana.
Drishtvedam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana.
Idanimasmi samvrittah sachetah prakritim gatah.
Idanimasmi samvrittah sachetah prakritim gatah.
Excellent. Your pronunciation is on the dot, especially in the bhavaha, rudha, everything was perfect. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Sudurdarshamidam Rupam
Sudurdarshamidam Rupam
Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Deva Apyasya Rupasya
Deva Apyasya Rupasya
Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha.
Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha
Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtavanasi Yanmama
Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha.
Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha.
Very good. Naham Vedairna Tapasa
Naham Vedairna Tapasa
Nadanena na chejyaya.
Nadanena Chejyaya
Chejyaya. Chejyaya.
Chejyaya
Shakya evam vidho drashtum.
Shakya evam vidho drashtum
Drishtavanasi mam yatha.
Drishtavanasi mam yatha.
Very good. Naham vedairna tapasa nadanena na chejyaya.
Naham vedairna tapasa nadanena na chejyaya.
Shakya evam vibho drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha.
Shakya evam vidho drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha.
Very good. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyah.
Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyah
Ahamevam vidhorjuna.
Ahamevam vidhorjuna
Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena.
Jnatum drashtum cha tatvena
Praveshtum cha parantapa.
प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप.
Very good. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyah ahamevam vidhorjuna.
भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्य अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन.
ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप.
ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप.
Very good. Matkarma.
லைன் கொஞ்சம் பிரேக்.
Okay. Is it clear now?
இப்ப
I
clear.
am getting messages. My internet is not stable. Is it clear now? Okay.
இப்ப clear ஆ இருக்கு.
Matkarma krinmat paramaha.
मत्कर्म कृन्मत् परमः
Madbhakta sangavarjitah.
मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः
Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu.
निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु.
That shu is short. Bhuteshu.
भूतेषु.
Yes, samameti pandava.
यः स मामेति पाण्डव.
Matkarma krinmat paramaha. Madbhakta sangavarjitah.
मत्कर्म कृन्मत् परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः
Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu. Yassa mameti pandava.
निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव.
Very good. Om tatsaditi.
ॐ तत्सदिति
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु गीतासु
Su is not dirgham. So we are splitting there. Bhagavad-gītāsu.
भगवद्गीतासु भगवद्गीतासु
Upanishatsu.
उपनिषत्सु.
So when you join that su and Upanishatsu, it becomes su dirgham. But then we are stopping there, so it has to be the short hrasva su. So Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu.
The first one is hrasvam, second one is kind of that is also hrasvam.
Hrasvam only. Ama.
Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu
Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayah.
Vishwarupa Darshano Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayah.
One more time.
Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadashodhyayah.
Harihi Om Shri
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, Ji.
Sarvam Krishnarpanam. Very
Sure.
well chanted and repeated, Ushaji. Very proud of
Thank
you.
you so much. எல்லாம் உங்களால தான் குருஜி.
Very nice.
Thank
You
you.
have put in the word, the effort to chant the right way, and I can see. I think we have traveled together for so many years together. 2-3 years இருக்குமா that we have traveled together.
இருக்கும் ஜி,
So
இருக்கும்.
I can see from where you started and where you are today, and it is nothing but sheer effort.
எல்லாம் உங்களோட ஆசீர்வாதம். வேற ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல. எல்லாம் உங்க ஆசீர்வாதம். Thank you ஜி.
And being a doctor to devote that to actually do this is truly commendable. Thank you so much, Ji.
Thank you so much.
True
Thank you so
inspiration.
much. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go through 51 to 55 one more time, and then we will do the Vyakyanam revision and then move on to the last part. Arjuna uvacha दृष्ट्वेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः सचेताः प्रकृतिं गतः श्रीभगवानुवाच सुदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्टवानसि यन्मम देवा अप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्यया. I'll repeat it one more time. नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्यया शक्य एवं विधो द्रष्टुं दृष्टवानसि मां यथा भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्यः अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप मत्कर्म कृन्मत्परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम एकादशोऽध्यायः. हरिः ओम्. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम्. सर्वं कृष्णार्पणम्. Any questions? Fairly simple set of 5 shlokas. Any questions in pronunciation? last line. Nirvairah sarvabhuteshu yassa mameti pandava. Where? Nami is where? So there is a visargaha there. Nirvairah sarvabhuteshu yaha sa becomes yassa mameti pandava. So you can, I think Priyaji is asking about Nama Ekadashodhyayah, right? So you can say that, you can stop there and say Nama Ekadashodhyayah, or you can say Namaikadashodhyayah. So the general convention is for the chandas, we actually split it there. So all the other endings also we usually say Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama. That is the name of the Adhyayah. Nama Ekadashodhyayah. So there is a sandhi happening there. There's a vriddhi sandhi happening there. So it becomes nama plus ekadasho becomes namikadasho dhyayah. So it is right if you say namai also, but you should not stop. If you say the mai there, you can't stop. You have to say it together. But the general convention we have been following, and I think most people when they chant, they stop with the name of the adhyayah and then they end with the number of the adhyayah. So that's the convention. Okay. Yes, Haridra.
Namaskaram, Vani auntie.
Namaste, Kanna.
So 41st and 42nd ஸ்லோகத்துல அர்ஜுனர் வந்து சொல்றாரு, நீ வந்து என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்ட், சோ நீதான் சுப்ரீம்னு எனக்கு தெரியல, சோ நான் ஏதாவது டிஸ்ரெஸ்பெக்ட்ஃபுல்லா தான் சொன்னேன்னா நீ என்ன மன்னிச்சுக்கோ, நான் எதுவும் வேணும்ட்டு எல்லாம் பண்ணல. Now I understand that நீ வந்து சுப்ரீம் and immeasurable அப்படின்ட்டு. So அதுக்கப்புறம் 43rd ஸ்லோகத்துல சொல்றாரு, நீதான் வந்து யூனிவர்ஸோட ஃபாதர், அதுக்கப்புறம் யூ ஆர் வர்தி ஆஃப் பீயிங் வர்ஷிப், அதுக்கப்புறம் நீ யூனிவர்ஸ்லயே நீதான் கிரேட்டஸ்ட் குரு அண்ட் நீதான் சுப்ரீம், உன்னோட சுப்பீரியரா இருக்கிறவங்க யூனிவர்ஸ்லயே கூட இருக்க மாட்டாங்க அப்படின்ட்டு.
In all the lokatrayam.
So 44th ஸ்லோகத்துல சொல்றாரு, நான் வந்து கிட்ட forgiveness கேக்குறேன், நீதான் வந்து இருக்கிறதுலே இந்த யூனிவர்ஸ்லயே அடோரபிள் அப்படின்ட்டு. 45th நான் வந்து நீ காட்டுற அந்த விஸ்வரூபத்தை பார்த்து ஐ ஃபீல் டிலைட்டட், ஆனா மனசுக்குள்ள எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் டிஸ்ட்ரெஸ்டா இருக்கு, பயமா இருக்கு, அதனால என்கிட்ட ஷோ சம் மர்சி, நீ வந்து உன்னோட சிம்பிள் ஃபார்மே காட்டு, வந்து நிறைய ஃபேஸஸ், நிறைய வெப்பன்ஸ், நிறைய ஹேண்ட்ஸ், இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப டயர்டா இருக்கு, நீ வந்து என்கிட்ட நார்மலா எந்த ஃபார்ம்ல இருக்கியோ அதே ஃபார்ம்ல நீ அதே ஃபார்மை நீ எனக்கு காட்டு, அப்பதான் உன்னை ஃபியர்ஸே பயமே இல்லாம நான் உன்னை என்ஜாய் பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்ட்டு. அப்போ அதுக்கு 47th ஸ்லோகத்துல கிருஷ்ணர் சொல்றாரு, நான் வந்து என்னோட ஒரிஜினல் ஃபார்ம ஹாப்பியா உன்கிட்ட காட்டிருக்கேன், யாருக்குமே நான் இத காட்டினது இல்ல, நீ வந்து என்னோட டியர் ஃப்ரெண்ட்னால நான் உன்கிட்ட இந்த ஃபார்ம காட்டுறேன், ஏதோ வேதம் படிக்காமலோ ஏதோ ரிச்சுவல்ஸ் படிக்காமலோ மெடிடேஷன் பண்ணாமையோ நான் இத காட்ட மாட்டேன், ஆனா நீ என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்டு, நீ கேட்டிருக்க, நான் உன்னை கேஷுவலா உன்கிட்ட கேஷுவலா நான் அப்படியே காட்டிட்டேன் அப்படின்ட்டு. 49th வந்து எனக்கு உன்னை பத்தி புரியுது, பயப்படாத, உனக்கு நீ எந்த ஃபார்ம்ல கம்ஃபர்டபுளா இருக்கியோ அதே ஃபார்ம நான் காட்டுறேன், இப்ப என்ன பாரு, அட்லீஸ்ட் இப்ப நீ ஹாப்பியா இருப்ப, உனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கிளாரிட்டி இருக்கும் அப்படின்ட்டு. இப்போ 50th ஸ்லோகத்துல சஞ்சயர் இப்போ திருதராஷ்டர் கிட்ட சொல்றாரு, கிருஷ்ணர் வந்து அர்ஜுனர் கிட்ட அவரோட விஸ்வரூபத்தையே காட்டியிருக்காரு, அத பார்த்து அர்ஜுனரும் பயந்துட்டாரு, அதனால கிருஷ்ணர் வந்து திரும்பி அவரோட நார்மல் ஃபார்மே, நார்மலா எப்படி இருந்தாரோ அதே அர்ஜுனர் கிட்ட காட்டியிருக்காரு கிருஷ்ணராவே.
Very nice, very nice. I think the only change would be he actually says not even through Veda or Yajna or Danam this form can be seen. It is so difficult to see even through this through those, but I have shown this Sabrina. And then yes, like Usha ji very beautifully summarized, Haridra. It's amazing how a 12-year-old can express so well. It is nothing but Guru's complete blessings. You have that, Kanna. I think I will say this every time you summarize.
Thank you,
such a treat to hear you. Thank you, Kanna. And then yes, so he says, Ella Krishna, Ella Mahapariva. Thank you, Kanna. And then there is a beautiful analogy where he says, you forgive me, and how should you forgive me? Just like a father would forgive a son, just like a friend would forgive another friend, just like a beloved would forgive his or her own beloved. So think of me like that, and then you please forgive me. So that is the summary. So at the end of this, we concluded saying Sanjaya again tells Dhritarashtra that Krishna Bhagavan took his original form. So now that he has shown his original form, we know what follows. Was Sanjaya able to see Krishna? Yes, Sanjaya was supposed to have, that's what they say, the whole thing, I think he saw in that form, but I don't know whether he had those special eyes that I think he was able to see through Arjuna's eyes. I don't know whether he was able to withstand that. So that's what it said. The whole Bhagavad Gita is Vyasa, Sanjaya, 4 people, right? Vyasa. So it starts with Arjuna, Sanjaya, and through Sanjaya, Dhritarashtra, and then of course Vyasa, who is narrating the whole thing. So the whole setup there, the stage there is visible and can be heard only to these 4 people. Of course, there is Hanuman in the flag in the chariot, who also heard Bhagavad Gita. But yeah, was Sanjaya able to see this form of Krishna? I don't know. I think he might have understood from the emotions of Arjuna, because specifically Krishna says, okay, now that I will give you the power, the Chakshuhu, to see my form. I don't think Sanjaya would have actually seen. That's just a guess, ma'am. I don't know. I didn't think of it that way. So in 51, now that Krishna has shown his original form back, we know what the emotion of Arjuna is going to be. He's obviously going to be very happy. So that is what is explained in 51. So he's Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna says, Drishtva idam manusham rupam tava saumyam janardana idanim asmi samvrittaha sa chetaha prakritim gataha. So he says, I am back to my original self when I see your original rupam. So his nature is to be calm and composed, right? And to a certain extent brave and not fearful. That is the nature of Arjuna. So Drishtva, having seen idam manusham rupam, this human-like form in front of me, which is just an ordinary form. And the adjective to describe that form is saumyam, which is very gentle to look at, which is very pleasing to look at, not very fearful, not very terrible to look at. Janardana, oh Janardana. So having seen that form, idanim, now, samvrittaha asmi, I am actually feeling very calm. Where sachetaha, in my mind, I am feeling very, very calm, which is my nature. Prakritim gataha, I have gone into my natural emotion or my nature. Prakriti is nature. So my self nature, which is being calm and composed, I am back to that, having seen your Saumya Rupam. So that is what Arjuna says in 51. And then Krishna again continues. The last 3 are kind of, we can, whenever you start like a presentation, you have an agenda, and then you have like points, you describe the points, and then you wrap it up with the summary of the same points, right? The key points, like these are like the key points Krishna is again summarizing. So he says, so durdarsham idam rupam drishtavanasi yat mama devaha api asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. So this form that you have seen, even devas are, they reside in the same loka, they reside in the same plane as Bhagavan. So it should be easy for them to see this form of Bhagavan. But he says, this form of me that you have seen, Sudur Darsham Idam Rupam, whatever you have seen, this form, even Devaha, api asya rupasya. They long, they are eager to see, they long and they want to see this kind of form. Darshana kankshinaha. Kankshinaha means they want to see this form. They're eager to see this form. So even devas are curious to see me in that Vishwarupa form, but I have shown you this form of mine, which you have seen as the universal form, the Vishwarupam. And then again he says, it's like a concluding, wrapping up summary here. Na aham vedaihi na tapasa na danena na cha ijyaya shakyaha evam vidaha drashtum drishtavanasi mam yatha. So again he says, similar to what he had stated before, this form is not easily seen even when one does Veda Adhyayanam, when one does Yajna, when one follows the rituals, when one does a lot of dana, distributes gifts, even when one does all this, it is not easy to see this form. So he is again summarizing the same thing. He says, Na aham vedaihi, even by Vedas, tapasa, by tapas, danena, through dana, and ijyaya. Ijyaya is through, ijya is sacrifice, so rituals, so karma. Shakyaha, it is not possible to see. Evam vidaha, it is not possible to see like this. What is not possible? Drashtum, to see. That form which is not easily seen or cannot be seen even by reading the Vedas or doing tapas or doing danam or doing rituals or sacrifice, that form you have seen. Mam, in a form that you have seen, that is not possible. So I think he is just reminding Arjuna that he has got this unique blessing. Arjuna already has a unique blessing compared to anybody else. Krishna being his friend, Krishna being his Sarathi, Krishna being his friend, guide and philosopher and supporting him through the war. But then he's also saying, also remember that you have this added advantage where you have seen this special form that even devas long to see. Even they don't get to see, they are eager to see that form. And even through severe penance or even through hardcore rituals or even through very strict Veda Adhyayanam, or even by giving off all that you have through Danam, it is not possible to see. 54. Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyaha aham evam vidaha Arjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. But how can you reach this form? You can see this form in tattvam. Tattvam is reality. You can feel this form, drashtum, jnatum. You can realize this form, understand this form, and you can enter into that form, which is have the power to take that form through what? Bhakti. Only through bhakti. And there is a reason why he has stated bhakti here, because the next adhyaya is going to be bhakti yoga. So he says the only way you can actually reach me, pacify me, or whatever you do to me, it can be as strict, as disciplined, as determined, as something which is followed by austerity as possible. But what I'm looking for is bhakti, bhaktya. Only through bhakti, shakyaha, it is possible to know this form, Arjuna. Jnatum, drashtum, praveshtum. To know, to see, to enter into this form, which is the reality. So he, in some sense, it is understanding Bhagavan, who is there very much within us. And how can we do that? We can do that only through true bhakti, nishkamya bhakti, a bhakti that does not expect anything from Bhagavan, but it is only the love and devotion that we have towards the Parabrahman. It is not the kamya bhakti where you have a trade that is established between him and us, where we say, I'll do this, can you give this for me? It is not that kind of bhakti. It is a bhakti like a mother to a child, where it is supposed to be the mother-child love is supposed to be without expectations. These days, even that has become with expectations. So without any expectations, it's just the pure love that we have for the Supreme Parabrahman, and the gratitude that we experience for what he has given to us, and accepting what is being given to us. Like I always say, just complete surrender, giving him the key and the driver's seat for him to run our life. That kind of bhakti, through that kind of bhakti, you will be able to, only through that kind of bhakti is possible. He is not saying you, he says Shakyaha, it is possible to know, see, and enter into this form. And then he concludes this saying, Mat karmakrit, mat paramaha, mad bhaktaha, sanga varjitaha, nirvairaha, sarvabhuteshu, saha mam eti pandava. So who is the one who reaches Bhagavan, who is devoted to him? And he says, Sanga Varjitaha, without any attachment. Nirvairaha, without any raga dvesham, without that enmity, without hatred for any being. So whatever he is quoting here is so difficult to follow. So he says, Mat karmakrit, whatever action one person does, he completely does it with devotion to me. Mat paramaha, he sees me as the most supreme, and he does it with a lot of bhakti, but at the same time he does it without any attachment towards anything or anybody. He has no enmity, he has no dislike towards any of the creations that has been done by me. Sarva bhuteshu, in all the beings. Sarva bhuteshu is in all the beings. Saha yaha tadrisham karoti, yaha saha mam eti, that person is the one who reaches me, who comes to me. So bhakti is very important. When we do the bhakti without the attachment is important. And when we show true devotion, just acceptance of Bhagavan's creation around us, which is very, very difficult across every being that we see, just the acceptance. If you have that kind of living, if you have that kind of bhakti, you will come and realize me, you will reach me. Saha eva mam eti pandava. He says only that person can reach me. So he concludes saying, stating the importance of bhakti. So the 54th also bhaktya, and then even in 55, mad bhaktaha, being a bhakta, a true devotion, complete devotion, devotion without attachment, devotion without desire. That kind of bhakti, a bhakta who exhibits, has the power to realize Bhagavan and reach him. So the next adhyaya is going to be Bhakti Yoga, the 12th chapter, which is also a beautiful chapter. It's one of the shortest chapters, just 20 shlokas. It's very easy to chant too, fairly simple. So many people who want to chant at least Bhagavad Gita regularly, they usually do Bhakti Yoga, because if Bhakti is with us, then Guru and Bhagavan are with us. So give us the power to exhibit true devotion. So that after a lot of hurdles, I think this chapter dragged for a long time. It was due long time back. Due to various things, we had to keep cancelling classes, and I'm grateful to Guru for us to complete it today. Next class, we will do a revision. I do want members to come forward and talk about how this particular chapter has impacted you internally, has changed the way you looked at things. And in general, if over the period of time when we have started learning Bhagavad Gita, you can feel the transformation inside you, and you are looking at a same situation differently today, then I think we are successful in reading Bhagavad Gita in true sense. Like I always say, Bhagavad Gita is not a Purana where we just read it like a story, take piece of it like like a chocolate and say, okay, this is the moral and I'm done. No. We have to read, understand, keep reading, keep understanding, and try and implementing it as much as possible in our daily life, and we will fail. We are not saints, we are not sadhus, we are not sages, we have not realized Bhagavan to that extent. So we will fail, but being aware that we failed and again picking up from where we left and again trying harder, again failing and again trying even more harder. So that is what we need to do. And the scale of comparison, like I repeatedly say, is, am I a better person than who I was yesterday, who I was a year ago, 10 years ago? Am I more contented today? Am I more at peace today? Do I have more acceptance today? Am I able to do things without too much of restlessness? Am I able to focus at least on one thing at a time and do it with like complete satisfaction? I think these are, and the FIR that we always talk about, when we get angry, as the frequency reduces, the intensity lower, is the recovery period quicker, is our FIR number good, then definitely Bhagavad Gita, we are learning Bhagavad Gita in true sense. So next week we will have a revision. I sincerely request members to come forward and share your experiences. It will be a learning not just for you, for others too. So when we hear somebody say something, it sort of rings a bell. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I experience, what I feel. And we will also watch out for things that we hear. So do practice. We will do the chanting and then we will do an introspection section next week. Okay. Yes, Mama.
Namaskaram. The Virat Rupamum, Vishwa Rupamum, is it same? Both are, I think.
I don't know. I've only heard the Vishwa Rupam. I can check and tell you, Mama. Okay. I've heard Virat Purushaha. The Virat Purushaha, which we see in Narayaniyam, right? I think it is the fifth. So in fifth there is that Virat Purushaha where the description is given, and in sixth I think the Virat Purushaha, my understanding, I don't know, I can check and tell you, I'm not an expert here. I think Virat Purushaha talks more about how from each part of Bhagavan the Shrishti happens. So from how the Varnas are created, how the three all the lokas are created. I think that is my understanding. Forgive me if I am wrong. That is my understanding. But
as you said,
Vishwarupa. Go ahead, Mama.
Narayanam, I just gone through some of the Dasakas. I just stopped at this place only. I think 10th Dasakam.
Okay. I think so. It's Virat Purushaha comes in fifth, and then in sixth. I don't know Narayanam at all, but then I had the blessing for a dance production. They actually did Virat the fifth and sixth Dashakam, and they wanted help with the write-up. So that is why I know. Otherwise, I don't know Narayanam. The same Virat Purushaha is what they did. So I remember that writing that all the 7 lokas that came, and then from Bhagavan's nose, from his feet, how Shrishti actually happens, and then after the Shrishti, how Maya came into existence, right? Because the whole world is around Maya. So Vishwarupam, I think, is different. Vishwarupam is where you actually see the universe as Bhagavan and Bhagavan as the universe. So pretty much like everything is him. That's my understanding, but I have to resort to an expert to clarify that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Namaste.
Okay. Hopefully someday we will have the bhagyam to do Narayaniyam. We have a long way to go. We have a bunch of shlokas to do before that, Bhagavad Gita, and a lot of laharis to do. So, but hopefully we will reach a day when when it is time for us to do Narayaniyam, and we will do that. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Mahaparivasharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Hara Hara Shankara.